The only point of this was to get back at him. It is very clear that she's upset. She's like, wow, remember, he said, if you can't deal with what I need, let's break up. Then breaks up and then has the audacity to let her know, hey, out of respect, I'm gonna see someone else. And then she goes, nice turnaround time, by the way. And then when he has a baby with someone else, she has the audacity to release these fucking things. But no one will tell you this. I believe he did nothing wrong. And I believe what's her name? Sarah Brady? What Sarah Brady did was not only was she 100% wrong, I'm going to show you how she did further socioeconomic damage to the entire world. I think what she did was horrific. And I'm going to go, because there's details I promise you guys don't even know, especially the breakup text messages that she had. What she did was so fucking insidious. But I'm going to leave it up to where we read it all. Okay. And the other thing is the number of people who have had an opinion on this, who have not read the text messages, is shocking to me. And whenever I see the reaction videos from therapists online, they never read the messages, and there's a reason why. Go ahead. What do you think?
And the reason why they are so shocked by it is because they're using therapist language in all of this entire
Well, they're saying he's using therapist
language.
language.
He's using therapist language. And, of course, I think he's trying to resolve this problem sort of like in a logical, sensible way, and using this language to do so. And I just did about a 40-minute podcast. I was doing some shorts today, and Glenn said, hey, why don't we do something on the Jonah Hill thing? So we started talking about this, and from my initial understanding, now I have not seen the texts, or I have not seen what you're going to reveal to us today, but my initial read on this is that they're kind of both in the wrong. So I'm not saying like he's 100% right, she's wrong. I think the way he handled it was wrong. Is he in the right for doing, trying to set boundaries? That's the thing, is in our communities, in the sort of the manosphere red pill communities, guys want to jump on automatically and say, look, here's a guy who's trying to man up, he's trying to set boundaries and everything, and she's not acting accordingly. And then, of course, the opposite side of it is the women's and the therapists seem to think that this guy is like horribly misogynistic, horribly manipulative, very possessive, like very controlling, maybe even codependent. And, throw out as many therapist adjectives as you can possibly, apply to him. But so there's that side, and you're probably right. They haven't read, or they're not in full possession of the facts of what's been going on. Now, to put this in proper context, remember that a lot of this happened a year ago. This is a long time in the past, okay? And now suddenly these are being leaked because Jonah Hill is with a new woman right now, and they just had a baby together.
So I just want to point this out. She leaked them right after his fiance had a baby. I'm going to say this for the second time because I'm sure most of you didn't know that.
Yeah.
These things were magically leaked right after they had a baby. And I'm sure you guys probably think the breakup was acrimonious. And I'm going to show you that it wasn't. She was actually very happy when they broke up. And they had no contact since then. And then all of a sudden, he has a baby with someone else. And all of a sudden, these things need to be leaked.
Bam.
I'm sorry. No excuse for this. But anyway, keep going.
So my initial read on this, and I'll just read the super chat. Thanks real quick. I'll take care of this one. Toff says, Rolo, do you think, and thanks for the $20 super chat, Rolo, do you think that the Jonah Hill situation is an example of the importance of demonstrate, do not explicate? Absolutely. That's exactly what I got into on my show earlier this morning. Also, do you believe that he was establishing boundaries or just giving ultimatums? Is there a difference? I think that the way he handled it, I don't think he was like trying to establish boundaries. I think what he was doing was he has, we talked about this on the green room yesterday. I think he's got fat guy syndrome is what he's got. And I'm just being honest here. Okay. You got to remember, Jonah Hill has always struggled with his weight. In recent months, he's, trimmed down a bit, but he still looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski. Let's just be honest. Okay. Also, and I don't care if he's a, Oscar-nominated actor. I don't care how much money he makes. I know that he rubs elbows with guys like Leonardo DiCaprio. I got it. He's not an A-list celebrity, but he's an A-minus list celebrity. He's okay. I mean, what has he done recently? But besides Superbad and like Wolf of Wall Street, can you name anything that he's done?
It's the one with the people.
Movie?
The Netflix movie.
The one with the people.
Yeah.
He did a racial movie.
My read on this whole thing is this guy. Now remember, his wife or not his wife, his girlfriend Sarah Brady. She is a surf instructor. Okay, she's in good shape. She deals with guys who look like Matthew McConaughey in Point Break. Okay, so if she's out, and that's her business. And I'm not saying she's right or wrong in doing that. That's what she does. That's what she does. However, he's has a real problem with her being with these guys and showing her ass off on Instagram and everything else that goes along with this. So when
Sorry. Hey, what do you guys need to turn your phone all the way down?
somebody needs to put their phone off.
Phone to 0 volume.
We got that.
All right, keep going.
Yeah. So, anyways, the long and the short of it is,
This is fine.
my initial read on this is that the guy's kind of got this sort of insecurity about his body weight and how he looks, and he's going out with Sarah, who actually is a surfer, and she looks like she's a swimmer's body, and she also does modeling for Surf Magazine, so there's a sort of a glamour aspect of it as well. So she gets endorsements. And so, I mean, she had a career before all this, and he knew what he was getting into. Let's just, full disclosure here. But I think that a lot of this was sort of a buildup over the time that they were together. And, he's saying, hey, I don't want you to, show your ass off to these guys. If you're with me, you're with me. You're not with them. It comes back to what I always say about like how men can be in the closed on his end and open on her end, meaning that she's still advertising herself. And sometimes women have to advertise themselves because that's what they do for a living. So advertising sexuality, being sexy all the time. There's probably not a woman at this table that has. I've seen all your Instagrams. Thank you very much. I did all this right here. So I know that it's having a guy who is sort of has a problem with that. That conversation is difficult to have, especially when a guy who's clingy, he's kind of a little bit more blue pill and beta about everything. And especially the guy who's struggling with his weight constantly. So if you're being run down by really good looking guys, by, like I said, point break guys, that's gonna wear down on a guy who hasn't really sort of gone all the way with his maturity, I guess.
Yeah. I do care that he is a A or A minus list celebrity. And I'll tell you why, because we wouldn't give a fuck about this if he wasn't. We wouldn't be talking about this, and she wouldn't be trying to grab clout off this if she wasn't. Also, if she was a he and he was a she, and she was trying to proclaim boundaries on him, this would not be an issue. And those therapists saying that these are not boundaries, this is controlling. I guarantee you, every one of the therapists that we're going to show you here in a little bit, if we flip the script, they would not say that these are boundaries, because women absolutely, and I don't disagree with this, have the right to have preferences as boundaries. The problem is that men seem to not be allowed to have that right as well. So here's the thing. If we are in a situation, and by the way, you know what, let's do this. I'm going to read the message. I put it on that thing that I gave you. I just added it to the very top, the actual text, and we're going to go through some text. So raise your hand if you have not read the text. You guys don't know. That's fine. That's great. I love this that you guys.
I'll let you read these.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I've got the links.
These are from Jonah Hill. Ready, and the one it says, let's just go to it goes literally just saying hello to leave the combo. I love how your therapist thinks I suck. I literally am one of the best boyfriends on earth. Okay, that's what he's saying. And then it goes here. This is, by the way, how do we know about this? She posted this on an IG story, and she screenshot one after another. All right, she says, plain and simple, this is what Jonah says to her. He goes, if you need surfing with men, if you need surfing with men. By the way, he did not say, I can't have you, or don't do this, or you stupid bitch, stop doing this. He did not say that. He said, if you need. Trust me, nobody wants you to read these messages. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless relationships with friends, with men. Again, I have a girlfriend who was a bartender, and she's currently a bikini model. I have no problem with her in a bikini. I understand she understands that's what the business is, and that is her business, okay? To model, to post pictures of yourself in bathing suits. Now, when she surfs, that is not the bathing suit he's talking about. She does not surf in a bikini. Yeah. That's not what she's doing. She's taking thirst trap photos as if she is single. And again, there's nothing wrong, ladies, if you want to do that. There's nothing wrong with you want to do that if you have an OnlyFans. There's nothing wrong if you want to do that and you have an OnlyFans and you and your husband fuck on OnlyFans. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is the two of you are in a relationship together and you're both allowed to express boundaries.
Was she doing that before?
I don't know if she was doing this before specifically, but my point is this. Ladies, have you ever been in a relationship with a guy and he changed? Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
Don't raise your hand.
Yeah.
I said you've been in a relationship with a change.
Yes.
Right, he's a narcissist. But that's your fault that he changed, right? Is that your fault?
Is it my fault?
Is it your fault he changed?
No.
Oh, wait a second. Jody, is that your fault that he changed?
No.
Oh, Ashley, was it your fault that he changed? You're saying you shouldn't be held accountable for him changing. Is that correct?
Yeah. Correct.
Jesse, is it your fault that he changed? No. Okay, so it's not his fault.
Before you continue, ladies, did he actually change, or was he always like that? And it just took time to find out that he was really always
right. But he may have given you a facade initially to say whatever the lover, whatever the fuck. I'm not even saying it's true or not true. My point is, when ladies say that men changed, they don't feel that they are accountable for the change. But for some reason, in this case, we're all saying he knew what he was getting into. We don't know that. Yeah. We don't know that he wasn't going around gripping other girls. And I have a hard time believing assuming that initially, when she's going to date this A-list celebrity, that she's going around flirting with other men. I think after a while, when she understood how far she could push the boundaries, she started to test him.
Right.
And that's essentially what happened.
Right.
That is not his fault, which is why I'm sticking with what I said initially. None of this is his fault. Going to the next thing. Posting pictures of yourself in a bathing suit to post sexual pictures. Friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. He doesn't have a problem with them being friends with them. It's just in a situation where if you have friends, I don't know if you guys have ever lived in LA, there's some people who do some fucking coke out there. They get crazy as shit. And like real talk, let me tell you something, fellas, ladies, you can tell me if I'm wrong here. If I have a girlfriend and I don't want her hanging around girls that I know sleep with other dudes for money, does that make me bad? Am I controlling?
No.
Okay, one more time. To friendships with women who are in unstable places from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee with someone respectful. Listen, here's what he said. At no point does he say you're a hoe. At no point he says I hate you. No one he says. Here's what I want you to read this because no one else will read this for you.
You don't get to dictate what I do with my friends, though.
Right, but then we can break up. And I understand
Because
what you're saying, but
because I'm going to a bar with my girlfriend?
no. But you can go to a bar with your friends. But my point is, if your friend is doing something,
No, he's dictating to her. You can go to coffee with your hoe friends, but nothing more than that.
right,
That's the boundary that's crossed.
But what if he didn't want you? What if you didn't want your man hanging out with his ex?
Do you remember how you guys have talked so many times about like some girls are delusional about what they want, their demands
Sure.
in men? He's allowed 100% to be delusional in what he wants.
There you go.
But you cannot sit there and dictate to someone a year into a relationship now what they can wear, what they can do. You can't do that.
But he's
and
not.
She has the option
No. See,
to leave.
this is what's so insidious about this. The first line is if you need. He's not dictating shit.
But there's a
He's
but.
putting it on her.
Hold
He's
on,
saying
listen.
if you need to put accountability on her, so he washes his hands. Like if you need to be a hoe, then be a hoe.
Well,
That's not
okay.
what.
So Jesse, if you and I were dating, and you had a guy friend who maybe he used to flirt with you, and whenever he comes around, he just has this commonality thing where he just grabs your ass every time he does it, or he hugs you and it's a little too long and he gets some side boob. And I said, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this. When you're with these guy friends, I would appreciate if they would not grab your ass.
He's axed.
Right, but that's just as I love how you think.
Up a scenario. You have no idea if that's actually the situation.
But neither do you, and that's my point
like
here.
It was women, like at that point.
Yeah, he sounds like
it sounds like it was talking about women.
Yeah, but he was also talking about guys. He said,
I understand the guy bullet, but the other one was about.
Okay, hold on. Do you see? Hold on. This is my point. Do you see how we're all coming up with different reasons why he could be right or wrong? This is their motherfucking relationship, and we're posting these things after he had a baby with someone else.
Yeah,
she's 100% in the wrong.
Yeah.
Girls, make sure you're talking into the mic. Ready? So let's keep going this. He goes, so the first part is if you need, and then it was XXXXX, and it goes, I am not the right partner for you. Right. Not move your shit out of my place. I am not the right partner for you. Guys, you know what an ultimatum is? An ultimatum is a threat, usually one that you can't carry out. Do you know what happened after this? He broke up with her. This is not an ultimatum. It was an if-then statement in programming. That's what this was. This is absolutely stating a boundary. This is not threatening, and this is certainly not controlling.
The only thing I would say is he should have done it earlier.
Thank you.
Correct. I agree with that too.
Establish these boundaries from the very beginning. If she's been surfing the whole time.
Again, while we're saying that, we don't know that one, that he didn't, and two, we don't know that she changed.
But you're defending it as if
she might be choosing the parts that are bad.
You're defending the aspect as if it was already something.
But it may have been or may not have been. You know about one of my relationships I had where she flipped 180 degrees. It was crazy. Shit just happens.
And she might be choosing the parts that are going to
make
her point.
Yes. By the way.
But we don't know this. We don't know if he warned her in different ways long before that.
Yes,
we don't know.
And then she went off the rails, and now he's ready to break up with her. But
the thing that gets me is the going out with your hoe friends. Like if you have to party with the people from your past, and if you have to do anything more than a coffee, it's disrespectful. That aspect of it is
beautiful. Then let's break up.
Because I want to go out with someone.
But the thing is, we're life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Let's just break up then. Let's just break up.
But what if we're not even doing anything wrong with our hoe friends?
Yeah.
Huh?
What if we're just going to the hookah lounge?
No. Again. I live in Las Vegas too. I live in Las Vegas too. There's no way. When you and I are on stage at some nightclub, there's girls around there that probably had sex for money, and we're not going to just like fucking shun them.
And we're the sober ones.
Yeah, we're the sober ones. I'm not saying this is right for me.
Right.
My girlfriend can post whatever she wants in bikinis because she's a bikini model. I met her as a bikini model. I knew that, and if she changed and started letting men touch her, I would write her a message similar to
We don't
this.
know if that's we don't know if
Did
that's
she,
the
did he
situation.
state that she changed? Did he state that she changed?
Whether or not she stated or did he change or not, because Jonah Hill's not going to talk about this, which is the smartest thing to do.
Right.
The point is, whether or not he changed or not, they broke up amicably.
Okay.
And there was no acrimony between the two of them. And then he had a baby with someone else. And then she posted this. That's my point.
I just feel like there's not enough information.
That's the information.
There's a debate about it.
We're not halfway done.
So you have a problem with the timing.
Hold on. Ready? So yeah, I have a problem with the timing of this. The timing of this
Because
tells
I got a greater problem than this, and it's more to your point. But
Okay, here we go. Ready?
I'll
Here we go.
tag
I am not the right partners for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. God damn, what an asshole. Can you believe he said that? If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. What a manipulative fuck. Can you believe she had to date this multi-millionaire A-list celebrity who asked her to not flirt with other men? What a piece of
I think
shit.
you're reading it in a clear mind. I think she's reading it and also delivering it back to us and a manipulative mean.
500% wrong then. She's 500% wrong.
But I'm saying, I think she's interpreting it as him being condescending.
Then she's even more wrong then.
Yeah.
Because she posted this.
I'm just saying.
Right here, let's keep going.
That's what I was saying.
Here goes. One more time. I love this. I'm going to make
We can all read it in 5 different ways.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt for this. Ready? If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says that. Okay.
Oh, Lord,
all right.
Michael. It's not
And
that serious.
and ready? Here we go. Listen to the threats here. And there will be no hard feelings. Oh my God! What a fucking asshole! Look at all this. He's just digging a hole for himself.
You know what the therapists say? That's passive aggressive.
That's so passive aggressive.
I think that's how she's probably reading it, which we don't know still.
Again, watch when we play these later. Notice how what I just read never gets read.
Do you think that he anticipated, I'm a celebrity, this might get out, let me be as
If you're telling me if you're telling me first off
I'm going to say outlandish things to her.
First off, you the conjecture that he would do that. They went to therapists together. In fact, she starts complaining, and one of the therapists we're going to show starts complaining about their therapist, saying their therapist is toxic because their therapist advised him to do the shit he's actually doing. The therapist even agreed. You didn't know that, did you? This is so one-sided. It's unbelievable. Let's keep going.
The very fact that you're in therapy with your girlfriend,
bro,
dude, that's last stop before toll.
Here we go.
Seriously, stop. It's like at that point, this should have been just.
I love this. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. These are my boundaries.
That's great.
How dare you say that these are boundaries? You're trying to control her. Jody, if we're married and I say I would appreciate if your ex-boyfriend didn't kiss you on the neck whenever we hung out. Am I trying to control you?
That's so extreme. That's not what's being said.
No. Stop. Here's the thing. The point, what you're saying is because you guys clearly see that's disrespectful. You're saying, but if I say if I use the same language, for this, it's controlling. But if I were to copy and paste and put when this guy touches you on the butt, all of a sudden that's not controlling. That's a boundary.
I feel like
all of them are boundaries. You not fucking other men while we're in a relationship is a boundary. It's not controlling. And me deciding that I don't want my girlfriend to go hang out with certain groups of people, she has every right to break up with me. Like it says here, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that it says in the preamble of the Constitution.
I'm not agreeing with you. What I'm saying is your examples are very extreme.
No. I'm sorry. That's my fault. My examples are extreme to show. So sometimes when you do programming, you can take a piece of text and then put it in for another piece of text. Okay. I'm saying let's run the same program, but let's switch out the text and keep everything the same. And all of a sudden, this thing that was controlling becomes a boundary like that. But it's not. It's the same thing.
I agree with your boundary aspect. I agree with what you're saying. I agree with his boundary.
All of them are boundaries.
I agree with him setting his boundary. But when you start to talk about your example sounds so extreme.
No. I'm using hyperbole to show the if-then. So if we were to switch X with Y, the variables, all of a sudden, just a change of words goes from one thing from a boundary to control it. Mm-hmm. So it was controlling, but now when I say I don't want a man to grab your butt, now it's a boundary because that's that's rational. But then what happens when it's not rational? What happens when it comes to a point where like she wants to go have sex with other men and she's made it clear that that's what makes her happy, and you should respect that boundary, and you telling her to not have sex with other men, because I guarantee you these therapists that you're about to see would absolutely say that shit. No, you should respect her. You should respect her control. You're just trying to control her.
I think like what we would as women would think that he's talking about if we were against him would be more of the example of when you're done surfing and you get off the board and you go and you start giving high fives to dudes. I don't like when you do that because
there's photos of them like she's competing and she's like hugging one of the other competitors.
I understand that.
That's the issue. There is some context we've lost there as well.
As a woman, we think that as a controlling man, if he says, I don't like when you give high fives to dudes because they're congratulating you on doing a good job, that's like, to us, we're like, what's a high five?
So in most sports, don't they?
No audio. Hey, we have the microphone's not working here.
Let me, while they fix that, let me explain something to you about boundaries, because I was talking about, I've harped on this for a very long time. Boundaries mean nothing unless there is some sort of consequence to those. Okay,
but that's controlling, though, dude. That's controlling.
No, it's not controlling.
Why are you controlling people?
So here's the thing. So I'm going to use another extreme example. The guys have hit me up all the time. They'll say, "Rollo, my girlfriend or my wife, whatever she comes to me. She says, hey, I want to go and have a girls' weekend out in Vegas. I want to go have a girls' night out. I want to go and do these things. Is that okay with you? Are you okay with that?" And really, that's really more in a relationship sense. That's a shit test. Okay. It's not about the permission. It's not about whether or not you're okay with it or not. It's the fact that she wants to go in the first place. So what I tell guys is say, yeah, sure, have fun. You go out with your girlfriends. That's what you want to do. Sure, go ahead, honey. I support that, right? She comes back, all her shit's on the sidewalk, and all the locks in the doors.
And I agree with you. I think that I think in the modern day age, a lot of women, and sometimes men don't understand what a real boundary is. Because I have to admit, for me too, before I started to like understand podcasts and red pill and all that stuff and what a feminist is, which I'm not a feminist, but you know, like all that stuff, I didn't realize I really was pushing my ex-boyfriend's boundaries, and I thought he was being controlling or insecure, and I would call him that. And I was really thinking to myself, like, man, like I really do need to look at what I'm doing because, okay, so a woman's brain is, okay, I'll give you an example. I go out somewhere. This is a real, true life example. Me and my girlfriend sitting at the bar. She knows a celebrity, right? Wiz Khalifa. So she's like, oh my God, that's like my really good friend. We go to his hotel, and I'm like a little uncomfortable. I don't like to be a groupie. I'm sitting next to him. There's a picture taken. I look like I'm fucking him. I'm not doing a damn thing. Yeah. But immediately, it doesn't matter. The whole world will think I'm having sex with him.
Such a great point. Jody, Katrina, you guys are out one time, all right? And you just go out to dinner, whatever, and you're walking out of Katana, and you happen to be walking next to Drake, and someone takes a picture on TMZ. Who believes you didn't fuck him?
Exactly.
No, I'm being serious. Who believes you didn't fuck him?
No one.
If you make a post the next day swearing, I didn't even come there with him, I had no idea he was there. 95% of people will still assume you had sex with him.
The very fact that you put that on there means you did.
So then there's an argument between you two, and you're trying to explain, like, I just went for my friend. I only came for like 2 hours, and I left because I felt uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. I'm in my head, my female brain, I'm like, but I didn't do anything wrong. Why are we even fighting about this? Not that big of a deal.
Because you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
You're right. You just embarrassed him. That's the problem.
Exactly. Which, again, I never understood until...
Well, see, my point is this, is when we're talking about boundaries, I don't want to be with a woman who I have to explain those boundaries in the first fucking place.
We hate telling men what our
I want you to know me and be so into me and have such genuine desire for me that you're like, you know what? I don't really want to go to this girl's night out. I think it would be a much better idea to stay at home and fuck my husband, fuck my boyfriend, whatever, because I'm really into him. He's the guy for me, man. He's the one whose babies I want to have.
As soon as a girl chooses that, they always think like I'm losing my independence, but they don't understand being dependent on a man is not a negative thing. It's actually what you're supposed to do, because when you're in a relationship, you're slightly dependent on each other.
Of course.
You know, so you're dependent on her to bring something to what she brings to the table. You're dependent on him to protect you and give you safety. And I think that at this modern day of age, being dependent is looked at as this negative thing, like, oh my God.
Actually, I'll take it one further, because we're going to talk about Adam 22 later. If he was fine with her fucking other dudes, I wouldn't care. That's not my point. I don't give a shit about any of that. The thing is, we are both in a contract with each other. Yeah. When the contract has statements and stipulations in the contract, if we both agree to those contracts, they are boundaries. But as soon as you don't like the stipulations, then I'm controlling you. Right. No, then you can leave. And he gave her the easiest, smoothest pathway to leave. And several times says, if that's what makes you happy, I support it. That's the thing. When he says the correct words, because he's a man trying to assert his boundaries, he's being manipulative. What if he's just trying to assert his boundaries, even if his boundaries are unreasonable? If this was an Islamic man who wanted her to wear hijab, several Christian women would be like, "Get the fuck out of my face! I'm not going to do that." And you have the right to leave.
He has the right to have his boundaries. 100%. He has the right to have his boundaries, and nothing that he said in that screenshot was outlandish.
Was it
to
abuse?
Me,
was it abuse?
Except for if you need to be friends with a hose and stuff. That's the only part that I was like, what the fuck?
What I do with
I'm not in charge of what my friends do in their personal lives.
Was that hold on real quick? Was that abuse? Have you guys heard abuse? Oh, get ready for this one. Get ready for the fucking dynamite. Go ahead.
You know, Michael, there's a lot of guys that are too insecure to break up with a woman themselves.
Yes.
What they want to do is lay it out so the woman breaks up with him. And that's what they're hoping for.
I just feel like...
Or even another forward, what will happen is they'll say that, but then disrespect follows, and that's when the narcissism or the abuse, the verbal, because they don't want to break up, they just want to control.
I was on this show when Zerko was here and Adam was here, and I was explaining the differences between Adam Lyons.
Adam Lyons, he was here last week.
I was explaining the difference in how, because this really comes back to how we form relationships right now. The relationship that Jonah Hill thought he had with this girl is closed on his end and closed on her end, but it's not. The most common arrangement is closed on his end, thinking that it's closed on her end, but it's open on her end because we live in the age of social media, Instagram, Tinder, OnlyFans, you name it. So the availability, the advertising of that availability online right now opens it up so that she can advertise her availability or sexuality to guys. Now, whether that's their career or not is kind of immaterial to this. The guy thinks that she's going to have closed on her end and closed on his end. The problem is it's actually always going to be open on her end because she always is going to be able to, she has the out of saying, well, you're being manipulative. You're turning me into a monster because I can't talk to my friends. What are you saying? Why are you being so judgmental? I didn't go fuck that guy. I just hugged him.
Let's do this real quick because you two are married, Jesse and Jody. You both
not to each other.
Yeah,
but I was like, wait, what?
We can imagine. We can imagine. It's okay.
I wouldn't mind.
It's a new
I wouldn't mind. You know, I love blonde.
Listen,
so.
Maybe not all of LGBT, but L for sure. L. I'm down with L. L is I support L. I will wear that L flag day and night.
Same.
I will be out there at the pop. By the way, do you know there's a polygyny flag? It is. It's pink with blue in the middle and pink. There is a polygyny flag. I'm gonna be putting the polygyny flag in my house.
Is that open man?
Yeah, it's a man. It's a man with two. It's a man with two women.
How we like
That's
it.
polygyny. So it's pink with blue in the middle and pink.
That's how I like it.
100% polygyny.
Open on his end.
I will march in a goddamn pride parade with that polygyny flag.
There you go.
Right? In 2 seconds. Ready? Here we go. So Jody, the thing is, you do post pictures. Were you married when you posed in Playboy?
Yes.
Okay, and you posed. Okay, you were actually married when you posed in Playboy as well.
Do it, yeah.
And you guys both understood that was the case, and your husbands understood it at the time. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I know. I think yours might have been. Was yours a little acrimonious about it?
He pushed me to do it.
Okay, that's right. He pushed me to do it. So again, you notice in that case, I'm not criticizing either one of you because you had an understanding in the relationship what was going to happen, and that was totally fine. Okay, that was it. Now here's the second part. This is what he's talking about here. Jody, if you and your husband broke up, who would have more of an ability to meet new partners quicker, you or your husband?
Well, me.
But how much more? If you were gonna put a percentage, how much more? How many more partners? Do you
really?
How many more partners? Huh?
Thousands of
How many
percent.
more partners?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
percentage?
potential partners. How many more? And the answer is what you think it is. It's an insane number. I'm saying it's 10. I'm saying it's 10,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jesse, same thing.
What?
If you and your man broke up, your man's a pretty good looking guy.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
But maybe 5,000 to 1, 500 to 1.
What are you asking me?
How many more potential partners could you quickly garner compared to him?
God, no. I don't know. He's a very good looking dude, and I'm
okay, cool. But it's more. You'd have more than him.
Because because I'm a woman, men are
there you go. That's the point. No, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point. It's evolutionary psychology. Yes, that's the point. Because you're a woman, that's fine. I'm not saying it's double standard, but that's his point. It's like the thing is, we cannot be equal on both sides. Right. For him to go out and be this big movie star, as long as he's faithful to her with his penis, that's one thing. For her to go out and flirt with other dudes, that's very different because her ability, like the men are going to seek and try to be with her. So you guys understand why it's different?
So he doesn't do any love scenes. He doesn't kiss anybody else. He doesn't do anything that he takes clothes off.
So him doing now here's
right?
two things. Him doing a love scene would be for his work, but if she had a problem with it, and women have left men in the acting industry for this reason, she has the right to leave him. She has the right to leave him. Jesse.
But it sounds like when Rolo was saying closed on this end and closed on this end, it sounds like it's closed on his end, and then it has to be double closed on her end.
Double
like double.
Okay, let me explain something to you. So when men and women are coming together, men are the ones who are like the salesmen. I got to sell you on my quality. I got to look good. I got to 6'6", man, 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, 6-figure income, 12-inch cock, whatever. Yeah. So I've got to. I'm the pitch man. I have to convince you. Mm-hmm. Now, that's how men work in the sexual marketplace. Mm-hmm. Women, on the other hand, advertise. So it's like, I look good. Here I am with my cute outfit on Instagram. Here I am on this yacht party. I'm with Drake. I'm with, and here's my hot spread for FHM, whatever the hell it is. Advertising. So all you have to do is say, come and get it, boys. That's my availability. Men are the pitchmen, men are the salesmen, women are the advertisers.
It's so much harder for us to get into a cheating situation than it is for you.
The problem with that is when it's closed on his end and it's closed on her end, he's expected to stop pitching. He's expected to stop selling it, right? Because if he's flirting with the waitress, what do we call a guy who's out there actively trying to get with other women when he's in another relationship?
Tiger Woods.
We call that guy a cheater. We call that guy unfaithful,
we do call him a
infidelity. But we don't call it infidelity when a woman is in the same situation and she's still, whether it's because she has to generate revenue or whatever else, she's still advertising her sexuality out there because she's still in the marketplace. Well, he is expected to not be in the marketplace.
As long
he
as
has to stop selling,
too
but
far.
she doesn't have to stop advertising.
If he's generating revenue too, then it's
for sure.
Okay, in the rare case that the guy's a gigolo, yes, okay, you might have a point.
It's not rare here. It's not rare in Las Vegas. All right, here we go. Ready? So the last line here. My boundaries with you based on these ways these actions have hurt our trust. Okay, I think he misspelled a little bit of that. So we're going to go here, and this is the next part full of this abusive language. Listen to more abuse that he gives.
You're going to read this.
Okay, guys, ready? Right. Nor may I ever want that from my partner, and I reserve the right, and I'm open about it. Let me know. We'll respect you either way. God, I can't believe this piece of shit. We'll respect you either way. But these are my boundaries of this romantic relationship. Thanks. I'd love to know before the premiere, so I'm not put in the position of publicly flaunting our love. If my boundaries are going to continue to be disrespected, that would be hurtful and triggering for me. And she says, understood. Aww. She says understood, by the way, guys. And I think that's another part that's lost. She said understood, and then here's the only one people read. Here's the only one you ever see, and they still don't even read this. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple. Oh, actually, no, I already read that one. Because I'm tired of your attitude towards the surf culture, that contest, and that place, because I deserve respect, period. I have been more patient, and the shit like this is still here. Fuck that contest, fuck that place, fuck not respecting me. Always in every situation within the surf culture, you don't get it, you don't get me, get it. I don't know if you get it or care or give a shit about that shit more than even after Dr. Stern said it out loud. Dr. Stern was the couples therapist.
It's a lot.
Right.
I see why she was disrespectful.
Okay, here we go. It's just constant and doesn't reflect where we are or where you say you want to be. And I respect your skill in your surfing. Fucking asshole. I respect how you want to present yourself. I respect that you're hot and you're beautiful.
There it is. That's fat guy speak.
And I respect, however,
that's fat guy
and I respect, however,
that.
you want to live.
Bad news.
But I also respect myself, and that's what I'm interested in my own life, and what I let into my heart in my inner circle. So celebrate yourself, and however you live, however you please, and shine bright. But I don't want to have to deal with it.
I hear the
Okay.
I hear the vaginas drying all across.
No, agreed. But is he wrong? But does that make him wrong?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Hold on, one more time. I want to hear, ladies. Is this abuse?
No.
Okay, dude, trust me, because that's
calling it abuse.
Oh, get ready.
No, it is abuse. We were just abused by having to listen to this bullshit right now. My ears were abused because I'll tell you. You know who doesn't say this? Guys who fuck.
Yes.
Guys who fuck don't say this.
I mean, but do you think he doesn't fuck?
You know what they do?
So,
you know what they do? They go out and they fuck somebody else. That's what they do. They don't have the time to write poetry. What the fuck?
And that's what I was going to say. This guy is really good at communicating.
That you actually care about.
Well,
I would say they would communicate and not just go over
but here's the thing: is like he's not writing a freaking doctoral thesis to say, okay, we're gonna. This is a hostage negotiation. This is negotiating for her desire.
It was super soft.
Okay,
it
guys.
was super soft.
It was soft. They only
Super
saw
soft.
one screenshot and one person talking about it, and they changed the narrative to it, saying that she wasn't wearing a thong; she was wearing like a wetsuit, and he was calling it a thong and telling her she couldn't.
No, I'll show you the photo. There's photos.
Anymore.
She's just taking pictures of her boobs and her vagina, like this, but she's wearing like a bikini, and it's just a straight up thirst trap. You don't even see her face. Like it's very. Those are the pictures he wanted taken down. By the way, if my girlfriend posted something like that, I don't care because I am dating a bikini model. I am dating a world champion bikini model. I understand that's what she does, but I get to make that fucking decision. And there's nothing wrong with me making that decision. That is my point. Let's go back to this. Ready? I'll just read the quick one here. He goes, I don't want to, by the way, this is in August of last year. So this is less than a year. This is when they break up. Remember, an ultimatum is when I make threats, hey, we're going to break up or else.
Ultimatums are a declaration of power.
But he broke up. Ready? I don't want you to bail on school. That's important. That's what he's saying to her. Hey, I know I don't need to, but the spirit of pure respect for our friendship, they're already broken up, guys. Listen to me. I don't know. I know I don't need to, but in the spirit of pure friendship, of pure respect to our friendship and appreciation for each other, I did want to be transparent that I did start dating someone else recently. I'm sorry if that is painful. It just happened, and I didn't want to not be transparent. As if I never cared about you. Thanks for letting me know. Probably the best if we don't talk for a while and you figure out where that's headed. Okay? This is several months ago. We can go on more. It goes, I appreciate and understand that. That's what, he goes, I appreciate and understand that. And he goes, impressive turnaround time, by the way. So she's upset that in August, he's already seeing someone else. So this is her saying this. Impressive turnaround, by the way. And then shows a picture of him and his new girlfriend making out on the beach. Can you just let your publicist know that ain't me? I'm trying to start a career over here.
She sounds petty.
Oh, petty. Yeah. Now it seems like we're finally getting to the point here. This was my point. None of this was true. The only point of this was to get back at him. It is very clear that she's upset. She's like, wow, remember, he said, if you can't deal with what I need, let's break up. Then breaks up and then has the audacity to let her know, hey, out of respect, I'm gonna see someone else. And then she goes, nice turnaround time, by the way. And then when he has a baby with someone else, she has the audacity to release these fucking things. But no one will tell you this. No one wants to talk about this part.
So you have the inside scoop? How you know all this?
No, because I took some time to read it. Ready? Here goes. Ready? Here we go.
Because I actually
this is from her. Not that this is my business, but out of my own personal chicks before dicks code, if that's headed anywhere other than the hookup or fling, I'd appreciate it if you make that woman aware of how recently you've been flirting with me, sexting me, and leaning me on for partner level emotional support. By the way, he said it just happened. It's like, no, he can flirt with her all she wants. They're not in a relationship yet.
This is what happens when people like go to therapy and like it gets in their brain.
They learn jargon and then they want to use it for
themselves, and then they gaslight each other with the jargon and the language that they learn, so that they're fighting with like the same language that they learn in therapy.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry if it's upsetting. This is Jonah Hill. I'm sorry if it's upsetting that I would move on at all 6 months later. But I have handled you, and I have with the utmost love, and I've handled you with the utmost love and respect. Thanks. Don't ruin all the kindness. You're better than that. And then it goes on and on. But the point I'm trying to make is, at the end, he was very much trying to let her down. 6 months after they broke up, he explained it to her. And then, by the way, she didn't release these texts. These are texts that Jonah Hill released to show what the fuck she was doing.
So where's the abuse coming into play? I'm confused.
Oh no, we'll get to that. We haven't even got to that point. My point is, I want to like Your Honor.
These are the longest text message. We're going through the whole roll.
No, because I'm tired of like the misinformation about this. This is the most one-sided shit I've ever seen. She was very clear because this very much thing. The reason why I'm so triggered is this happened to me.
I got that.
You remember? Right? Okay. So I have a girlfriend. We're in a.
You are.
He's so triggered.
Right.
He came in here hot, man. He was ready to go. Coming in hot.
I was seeing someone for a number of years. She was not my girlfriend. We never settled down. We were just sort of seeing each other casually. Then one day she told me, I was seeing someone else. She was very upset about it, and I told her, I was like, "This is making you way too upset to see me with other women. I think what you want is monogamy. So if you need to break it off and move on, then that's totally fine with me. I'm totally fine with that." And she does. She's married a month later, and we're totally fine. That is in July of 2019. By December of 2019, she is sending me a message basically saying, "No, I'm sorry. This is in July, 2019. By December of 2020, this is during COVID. She sends me a message, "Happy birthday, old man. This is my 43rd birthday." She's like, "Happy birthday." She sends it to me on Snapchat, which is already a big fucking red flag because she doesn't want her husband to see it. Then after she does that, I started dating a girl in December of 2020. You know who it is. And when I start dating her, I get a 10-paragraph message explaining to me how I was wrong. I wronged her, and I was a terrible person. And then a day later, I get another.
Married woman?
I get a message. Yeah, she's married. Then a day later, I get a message apologizing for all the things she wrote in the first message, and then she proceeds to say horrible things about me. Remember, she told me happy birthday. I want to show this. When they broke up, he was very kind to her. He let her know what happened.
He's so triggered.
And now, after he moves on and he's having a baby with someone else, this woman has the audacity to say, "I hope God brings him a girl."
Oh no!
To talk about, and if he does, he'll be a girl dad.
So she's making an appeal to the sisterhood and all that. Like, I hope he has a girl because we all know how hard it is, like ladies. Like that's essentially she's trying.
Woman, we broke up. You don't need to talk about my fucking children. How about that?
Ever.
Well, how about ever? So she's 500% in the wrong, and I haven't even got to my real problem yet. Right. We'll get to that.
Shit.
Okay.
The reason why I'm really angry, and this is going to surprise some of you, is because I work with domestic abuse shelters. And if you think this is fucking abuse, this is so belittling to women who actually have to deal with abuse.
I don't think it's
you are setting, of course it's not abuse, you are setting women back who really need help. You are setting them back because of these petty little things that you're sitting there and do you understand? This is now a public issue. This man is being skewered for something where he did. I'm going to say it again. You may have an opinion. You may like pickles or not like pickles. That's a preference. You may think he's wrong because you don't have the same preferences as his, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong for anything he did, and he certainly did abuse her. That's the first issue I have, is the fact that women who suffer from actual abuse are being shortchanged because of what Amber Heard did and because of shit like this. That's the first thing I have a problem with. And the second thing I have a problem with is therapy is supposed to be there to help people. And now you have set therapy back. Yeah. You have fucked up therapy because now a therapist, somebody who just becomes a therapist, is going to see this fucking video with 75,000 likes and be like, is that how I have to talk? Because I guarantee you these two people sat there and said, I can't believe Johnny Depp hit Amber Heard. But he never hit her. I can't believe he was manipulative towards her like that. Do you remember what she's tried to use in court against him? He was drinking whiskey before noon and doing cocaine. Who the fuck didn't think that Johnny Depp was drinking whiskey before noon? Who? Raise your hand if you didn't know that Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't drinking whiskey before noon. We all knew that. But my point is, you have set therapy back. You have set therapy back. You have made therapy a joke with this.
What are their credentials? Did they even say?
They didn't say, but here the credentials is he got 75,000 likes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's a real therapist or not.
Yep, my credentials are 75,000 likes.
The point is, and I'll give you a third one. Neither of those two dudes would ever dare to debate me on this. I guarantee you. I would debate them. I guarantee you they would. The point I'm trying to make is, with this whole situation, you have set women back. I work with the Shade Tree in North Vegas. I take this situation very seriously. That when we deal with sexual assault or grape, that is a big thing for me. And whenever it is falsely accused, that is the second worst. Actual grape is the worst. The second worst thing you can do is falsely accuse someone of that. Right. In this case, because she has turned this into a Me Too abuse case, you are sitting there and you are setting all these women back and you are belittling actual abuse by calling this abuse. And that is why she's 500% in the wrong.
Is there a text
That's
that I'm
what I believe.
missing where she's actually saying
Coordinated
that what he
abuse?
was doing was manipulative or abusive?
Yeah, so in the side, so there's commentary. I'll show you the text message after.
okay.
But on the side, it's like every one of them, it's like, fuck this guy.
You know, like on
this-
Instagram, when you post something, you can write like an extra little.
Yeah,
like,
you can write, yeah.
To the,
That's what she was doing.
Yeah. She's doing forever.
See,
What prompted-
we're missing stuff over here.
What prompted her to do this? Did anybody say?
Yeah,
baby.
she got a baby.
The baby.
He had a baby. He had a baby with another woman.
She had an emotional burst of.
But not during,
So
not during their relationship.
But she sounds nuts then.
So I wanted to give you the full. Hold on.
You think so?
You heard those. You heard those two.
Unhinged.
Hold on. You heard those two therapists talk about the new
Yes.
baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, you didn't.
Nothing
You didn't. That's my
about it.
point. That's my point.
left
That
it
is
out.
such. That is such an important piece of context
Yeah.
that they leave out deliberately, and they don't read the messages like the full. They only read the one where he lists his demands. That's the only time they read it. The rest of it, they don't say, "Hey, I respect
His
you.
list of
I
demands
respect
or
that
his
you're.
list of boundaries?
Hey, Michael.
I respect your. Oh, go ahead.
Welcome to 2023.
What do you mean? I respect
Leaving things out.
I think you're. Hey, I respect that you're beautiful and sexy. I respect that you want to do this for a living. I respect it. If that's what makes you happy, I support it. But this is not a boundary that I can stand by. And then after they break up, he lets her know. He's like, "Hey, listen, I'm seeing someone else. It's been 6 months. I'm going to see someone else now." And she's like, "Well, thanks for letting me know. Seems like you turned that around really quick.
But let
6 months."
me do a devil's advocate
Okay.
really quickly, just a devil's advocate. What if he is extremely insecure because in his mind he's always the fat guy, and maybe this was her, like she was at her wit's end when these text messages happened. Maybe throughout the relationship he was constantly on her.
Okay,
Don't
but
do this.
she-
Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Why
Why'd
did
she
she post
wait?
those?
Why'd she wait?
why-
Why'd she
Because
wait
he's-
until he had a baby?
Because he's Jonah Hill.
No, but also let's say he was
true.
worse than this. My thing is, why did she choose these specific messages?
ones,
Because
yeah.
she thinks that this is going to best replicate, or not replicate, but like represent how abusive he is.
No, I think she is absolutely nuts.
I
I'm
think
just
so,
saying,
too.
in the relationship, even though he was the star or whatever, he was probably extremely insecure and was constantly nagging her and constantly nagging her.
We don't know that. What I'm saying is, from these messages, I don't see anything he did wrong. Now, what you're
No, I
going to
don't
say,
think so.
what you're going to say is, well, you know, he should have established his boundaries. We're taking red pill and
Should have
posting that on him.
enforced those
I'm not
boundaries.
saying that. I'm speaking because abuse is a legal thing. You guys understand?
Yeah.
When you say abuse, this is a legal thing now. That's where I'm saying he did nothing wrong. She belittled therapy and belittled abuse. That's what she did wrong. Then she exposed their private messages. That's what she did wrong.
She's
and
insecure.
finally, she said she has the audacity to say, "I hope you have a little girl." After seeing those messages, you're going to talk about my child?
Yeah.
You're going to talk about my child? How dare you?
Michael's
that's
triggered.
that's what I have a problem with. No, I'm just saying, like, because
yeah,
the problem is
it.
when I hear people debate this, there's no debate. What she did was this woman is nuclear sewage. This is horrible. What she did.
And honestly,